say maybe you don't want to have all that cholesterol, and maybe you're into the environment, or you're trying to just watch your health, and you really don't want those eggs today. So let's try something a little bit different. Here are the ingredients you're going to need. The first thing you're going to need is tofu. You need to really make sure that you get all of the liquid out, so hence the reason why I took it out ahead of time. I wrapped it around with paper towels so that I can use it later on. Another thing you're going to need is turmeric. Turmeric is really, really great when you're looking at trying to get, or cancer-fighting things, trying to get more memory, things like that. Turmeric, very, very good. I always use extra granulated garlic. You don't have to. I just find that it adds some extra flavor. Again, if you remember from our last episode, the nutritional yeast is also very, very important. And, of course, vegetables of your choice. A bunch of different vegetables in here that we're going to be cutting up today to put in our vegetable scramble. Now, I already started cooking up the onions. I cooked those up ahead of time, or started to cook them up, just because I know it takes a really long time for those to get really brown and tasty. So I'm letting those cook up for a little while. You want to have lots of different flavors going on in there, because if you've ever had tofu before, it really does take over the flavor of whatever it is that you cook it with. So the more vegetables, and whatever vegetables you want, it really doesn't matter. If you want to have, in my refrigerator, I had some portobello mushrooms, I had onions, I had zucchini, all these other good things, but you can really pick whatever vegetables you want. So let's get started. Alright, so let's get started with our veggie scramble for today. Obviously, I'm going to need to move my food around, so let's get one of the trusty little spatula. Move everything around. If you could smell already the deliciousness that I have going on, you'd love this. I got the onions frying right here. And I'm going to start adding some of the ingredients. So I really want those onions to kind of get goldeny. So the first thing I'm going to do, just to get all that flavor out of there, is I'm going to add some fresh garlic. Again, we're doing this to try to be healthy. We know that onions and garlic are two of the best anti-cancer fighting properties that you can possibly get when it comes to fruits and vegetables. They've been shown under many, many different studies to actually reverse cancer. So this is always really good to add this. And of course, if you're, I love garlic. I think most people really love the flavor of garlic. Alright, so I got that garlic getting in there. One more piece of garlic. And let's just move it around a little bit. Alright. So that garlic is going to start to cook really nice, and just keep adding some really great aroma into your food and into your house. I'm going to start cutting up these delicious portobello mushrooms. I picked these portobello mushrooms. You can get the smaller ones, the bigger ones. I happen to have these in my refrigerator. I always have portobello mushrooms on hand because they're always good to add to pretty much any recipe, especially the people who really want that meatier, thicker flavor. This one is really good to add. I know some people are not really big into mushrooms, but again, mushrooms, very, very good health properties in here. And I'm almost done cutting this up. Alright, so we're letting those mushrooms cook. It's funny that whenever I cook all of these things, I always have people come over and tell me how delicious the kitchen smells. And these are people that are not normally vegetarians, but they come in and they're just so amazed at how good all of the food smells. And the great thing too about cooking vegetables, it doesn't have that lingering smell. Some of the different things that you cook, especially if you fry them or they're animal products, they have this very strong lingering smell that's hard to kind of get rid of in the house. So this is obviously something, you don't have to worry about that as much. All right, so, again, you want to get all this stuff from the local farmer's market. We have some organic vegetables here. So we're going to use these delicious zucchinis. If you can get them from your own backyard, that's really the way to go because, man, that tastes delicious. Some people like their zucchinis a little bit less cooked. For me, it's just about flavor. I just really appreciate the flavor of the cooked zucchini. I feel like it gets everything out of there. You got this yellow squash in here. I peeled it only because the skin wasn't looking as pretty. Not for any other reason, because it is the organic squash, so I'm not as concerned about that. Now you're already noticing lots and lots of veggies in here. Again, the more the better. This is not really about as much the tofu. It is about all the different vegetables, all the different flavors you got going on there. I'm going to add this last one. You can really hear it cooking really, really well. It's so beautiful today in Long Island. It's supposed to be about 55 degrees and I have my door open, which is great. Always important to wash the hands off in between. And if you want to at this point, you can add a little bit of salt and pepper. Most of the things that I make are just the basic salt and pepper type of stuff. Don't get too crazy with all different spices. I mean, we'll try some of the other ones, but salt and pepper is a very good go-to, pretty normal in most kitchens. Most people have that salt and pepper shaker. All right, well, as that cooks, why don't we take a little break, and we'll come back when there's a little bit more stuff to do. All right, so here we are. You can see it's nice and looking brown and looking delicious. So I'm going to open up my tofu. You can hear my dogs being very wonderful in the background. All right, so it's kind of dry, what you want it to be. If it's too moist, it's not going to get nice and crispy. And I really just like it to get everything nice, falling apart in my hands. All right, wipe off the excess. All right, so now as that's cooking, let's mix this up a little bit more. Mix it up. All right, now this is the part that I like to be really garlicky, so I'm going to add just a little bit more garlic on there. I feel like that really adds to the flavor. Now again, turmeric, really, really good, really healthy spice. And the cool thing about it is that when you add it onto your eggs, your quote-unquote eggs, it gives it that yellowish color, which reminds you of scrambled eggs. And sometimes we like the idea of it in our minds, of it to, actually be eggs. Sometimes that's a big deal for some people. But if you start to notice, look, it's adding that color. Oops, lost one over there. Getting that nice color. cooking up just a little bit more. Add a little bit more salt and pepper. All right. Now you want to keep it cooking. You're going to start to notice it on the bottom. It's going to start to really get nice and golden. Really delicious. Alright, so it's going to keep cooking. Make sure everything has gotten all that nice yellow on there. Now, you know, again, I normally like it to be a little bit more on the golden side, but just for the fact that we are pretty close to done here, what I'm going to do right now is just add some of this nutritional yeast. Sprinkle it nicely on top of there. Again, it gives it that cheesy flavor, and add some vitamin B12 on there. And let's give myself a nice spoonful. And since I am making this for a bunch of people, I don't want to take too much away. So here's what it looks like. Grab myself a fork. And, all right, here we go. Looking delicious. Can't wait. Whew. Really good stuff. Lots of flavor. I taste all that a little bit of the turmeric. You don't really taste much of the actual tofu. But you're really getting all those vegetables. You know, if you want to add a little bit more salt and pepper, you can add a little bit more salt and pepper. But really, really good, healthy. And this is not the type of thing that when you're done eating it, you feel really gross and full. You feel really comfortable and light, and you feel really good. So, hope you guys enjoyed this episode of VegOut, and you got another good recipe that you can add to the repertoire. Again, whether you're a vegetarian or a vegan for the day, or you know, for one meal, whatever it's going to be, it's good for you. It's something that's helping you. It's helping the environment. It's helping the animals. So, you know, glad that you tuned in. Glad that you were willing to try it, and happy eating. VegOut.